Hi, my name is Craig Thompson-Wood. I am the board game teacher. Welcome to the classroom. Today we are learning Sleeping Queens by Miranda Evarts. Sleeping Queens is rated for ages 8 and up, 2 to 5 players, and is said to play in about 20 minutes. I would agree, games could take about 20 minutes, maybe a little bit longer, depending on how good the kids are with math. 2 to 5 players sounds about right. I played it with 2 players and it was fun. I think it would be more fun with more players. And ages 8 and up, I would say that is playing with an adult, then it could maybe be played with younger than 8. I think 8 and up would be a good age range for kids to play independently of an adult or somebody older that can help guide them. But for classroom settings, for example, I think this could do well in even a grade 1 class, maybe later in the year when the kids are a bit more familiar with some of their math facts, particularly simple single-digit addition. The story behind Sleeping Queens is a very interesting one, actually. Miranda Evarts was only 6 years old when she designed this game. She went to bed one night and was said to have trouble sleeping because she had this idea for a game going through her head. She tried to tell her parents, who of course, put her back to bed and said, we'll discuss this tomorrow, and which they did. Miranda got up the next morning and she was already playing with her younger sister, showing her this game about these queens who are asleep and you use cards to try to wake them up. And the father was intrigued. He helped to nudge her in the right direction, and before you know it, she became the youngest international game designer ever. So I thought that was a really cool story, and congratulations, Miranda. It is a really excellent game. So let's take it to the table and see how it's played. What I have set up here is a 3-player game for Sleeping Queens. In the center of the board, you have the queen cards, which are all face down. Now please note that I have sleeved all of my cards with protective plastic sleeves because kids tend to be quite hard on the game, so I find they last longer by spending a little bit of money on some protective sleeves. Normally the queen cards you can see are a different colored sleeve, different back on the card than the other ones, so hence I put them in different color sleeves as well. I just happen to have a few extra of these pink ones lying around for me to use. In the center here you have the draw pile, and on either side of the draw pile you can have a discard pile. It doesn't really matter which side. Each player gets 5 cards, and you're ready to begin. In Sleeping Queens, the players are trying to wake up the queens. This is being done through the play of their cards to try and get certain cards that can wake them up and have them in front of them. There is also opportunities for players to take queens from each other and to put the queens back to sleep, which I will explain right now. The queens cards can be woken up if a player discards a king card. This happens to be the puzzle king. The name of the king doesn't matter. As long as it's a king card, you are allowed to take whichever one of the queen cards without looking at it first and take it so it's face up in front of you. So in this case, I have taken the cat queen, and she is worth 15 points at the end of the game. Other players may try to take them by discarding a dragon card. So if this player on my right discards the dragon card, then they can take the cat queen away from me. And they would have a choice as to which queen. If I had more than one, they could choose which queen they take from me. So in this case, they take the cat queen. However, if I had the knight, I could cancel their dragon card, and I would play that. They would play the dragon, and I would play this card immediately to stop their dragon card. Whenever you discard such a card, you're going to draw 1 card back up into your hand again to make sure you always have 5 cards in hand. Another thing that can be done is maybe now the player on my left wants to get rid of my cat queen, so they're going to put her to sleep. This is a sleeping potion that can put the queen back to sleep. She will go back in the spot where I got her. I got her from here, I have to put her back here. I'm not allowed to reshuffle the cards, so this becomes a memory part of the game. However, if when this player plays the sleeping potion, I can then play the magic wand, which ignores the sleeping potion. So to recap, kings take a queen, kings take a queen from the face down queen to push them face up. Dragons will take a face up queen into somebody else's hand. The knight stops the dragon. The potion puts the queen back to sleep. The wand stops the potion from working. And that's pretty much the main mechanic for playing the game to get the cards you want and the cards you need in order to win. Now, a lot of the cards in the deck are not these face cards. They are instead these number cards. And the number cards work in such a way that they do nothing for you. You can always choose to discard one card. You always have to play one card into the discard pile on your turn. It can be so simple as discarding one card and then drawing one card. However, if you can look at your cards and come up with an arithmetic problem, for example, I can say 1 plus 2 is 3. So that is an arithmetic problem. The students have to say that, the player has to say it out loud, whether they're student, adult, whatever. It is just part of the game. You have to show how you're using those cards to create a number sentence that is correct. In this case, it works. 1 plus 2 is 3. I will discard 3 cards, and because I'm discarding 3 cards, I will draw 3 cards back into my hand, hoping for better cards than what I've had. However, if I can do something more complex, like 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 6, then I'm allowed to discard all of them because it still makes a correct number sentence. And in this case, I'm discarding 1, 2, 3, 4 number cards. I'm now allowed to draw 4 new cards from the deck back into my hand. So in this way, students are encouraged to come up with bigger or more complex sentences in order to be able to get rid of their cards, to get the better face cards that they're going to need, because the number cards really do nothing at all for you. There was one more card in the deck which I have not mentioned, and that is the Jester, or the Joker. When playing the Jester, face down, the player who plays it will draw the next card. If it is a face card, they then keep that card in their hand. However, if it is not a face card, if the next card you drew was a number card, then what you do, starting with the next player on the clockwise to the player who started, so if I played the Jester card, and I drew the 6, I will now start on my clockwise side, and I will count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it comes back to me. So that was lucky for me, because whoever that it stops on gets to pick one of the queen cards. So if it came back to me, then I would pick another queen card. Now, all of the queens, like the kings, have different names, but are all the same. The one exception here is the cat queen and the dog queen. The cat queen and the dog queen, like their namesakes, do not get along, and therefore, if I pick the dog queen up after I already had the cat queen, she has to go back to sleep. I can't keep her. The other one is the Rose Queen. The Rose Queen has a special ability. She may only be worth 5 points, but she has the ability to take another queen with her if awakened from the center. So if I take the Rose Queen, if I picked the Rose Queen, I can now reach down and take another one. So she brings a second one up with her. So cat and dog fight. They can't be in the same profile together. Likewise, if this player had the dog queen and I had the cat queen, I couldn't use the knight to take the dog queen. They can never be together face up. It's not allowed. The game will continue to be played until either all of the queens are awoken, until one player reaches a set number of queens, which in a 2 to 3 player is 5 queens, or in a 4 to 5 player is 4 queens, or you could play to points. In a 2 to 3 player game, they recommend 50 points. In a 4 to 5 player, they recommend 40 points. Whatever suits your needs, whatever suits your desires, just playing this game and having fun is a great way to learn some of your basic math facts and enjoy some social time with friends and family. So let's look one more time at some of the educational benefits of this game. As I showed at the beginning, you have your simple addition, such as 1 plus 2 is 3, or 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 6. So you have your simple single-digit addition. You could also get into regrouping. If you had 1 plus 3 plus 6 is 10. You could also perhaps, if it's a skill that you want to reinforce, insist that the students do not speak in addition terms, but only in subtraction. So in this case, the same could be done. The student would just simply say 10 minus 6 minus 3 equals 1. So while students may quickly realize, well, I can just do the addition and then just say it backwards, that is teaching them about the fact family, that the addition and the subtraction are using the same numbers, just in a different order. Alternatively, you can also learn about multiplication. So you could say 2 times 3 is 6. Again, conversely, you could talk about 6 divided by 3 is 2. You could even go 1 times 2 times 3 is 6. Depending on how far you want to go with this, there's really a lot you could do with the numbers. You could even test your child algebraically, say, well, I have a 6 and I have a 10. What would I need to add to make it a 6, a 10? And they'd say 4. Well, I don't have a 4, but I have a 3 and a 1. Does that work? And help them along. You can talk it through to get those ideas out. There's also a memory aspect to the game where if a queen was taken and then put back to sleep, remembering which queen was where is going to be a memory benefit to this game. And finally, at game end, when one player has, say, 4, we'll go with 5 queens, doing the addition, we're getting into larger numbers. So 15 plus 20 plus 10 plus 5 plus 5. Now all the queens are in groups of 5, so we could have counting by 5s to help us, adding of larger numbers, as well as if you're playing to a certain number of points, if I say I have this many points and 50 is going to win, how much is 20 plus 10 plus 15? And help them to calculate that. 20, 30, 45. Okay, if I need 50 points to win, how many more points do I need? So again, this can be an algebraic problem, but boils down to subtraction on a larger scale. So all in all, in Sleeping Queens, I think there's a lot of good to this, a lot of good fun, and something I highly recommend for any primary or junior classroom. And that's Sleeping Queens. So hopefully you found something in there that you enjoyed, or maybe something that you feel that you could use at home or in your classroom. If you have any other ideas for me of games that you might like to see on the channel, please let me know. Or if you have any other questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But until next time, I'm Craig Thompson with the Board Game Teacher saying thanks for coming to the classroom.
coming back to school.